Hello everybody, in this video I'm going to look at this. We're going to focus on this, and this is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. This is in Peru, and you know, this just blows my mind. This is just incredible. This is Ollantaytambo. It's on a river, there's a village, and I'm going to look at this in this video, and this thing is just extraordinary. It's just unbelievable, and I've been looking at this, trying to work out what's going on here, and you know, it's quite clear this is a destroyed city. It's been totally obliterated. This is all that's left, just this and a few other things, and well, I think this is concrete. It might not be concrete. Let's go into it. Let's start. Okay. This is reinforced concrete. This is modern stuff, and if that before is concrete, we can't replicate it. We can't build anything like that today, because this is just a century old. And you see what's happening. The reinforcement is coming out, but I'm wondering, could this stuff be some of those joints you see in Tiwanaku? Could it be some kind of reinforcing? If so, there'd be brown stains around it, but we don't really see that. Again, we'd see brown stains if it was rebar concrete reinforced with bars from the iron. And you see, concrete doesn't last. What we're using is a kind of sandy limestone, inferior to what nature does, and it doesn't last. Again, this is wind erosion on a dam, and I bring this up just to show you that it's poured in layers. You see, it's layers with a bit of moulding to hold it in place. And you do see this on at Ollantaytambo. You do see it. And this is Ollantaytambo, and do you know what? Every picture tells a different story. The sun is at different angles. This is apparently the temple of the sun. Or so they say. As you see, the rock is slightly golden, but it's also pink. It's a pink granite called porphyry. Apparently it's natural. And if we look at a definition, I'll just read this to you. Porphyry is a textural term for an igneous rock consisting of large-grained crystals such as feldspar or quartz dispersed in a fine-grained silicate-rich, generally aphanitic matrix or ground mass. The crystals are called phenocrysts. It's in its non-geologic traditional use. The term porphyry refers to the purple-red form of this stone, valued for its appearance, and it goes on to say this is a colour of royalty used for imperial palaces, etc. Now, this is just what survives. This, I think it was used in later times as a temple of the sun, but initially, whoever built this, it was way before the Inca. This is thousands of years old. This is unbelievable. And I'm going to give you a detailed look at this and try and explain what's going on. Now, for starters, the whole site is wrecked. It's totally been destroyed. It's all mixed up. All the stones are all over the place. It might have been destroyed in some catastrophe, as Brian Forster says. It might have just been used and they took the blocks elsewhere. It's all gone, but we can notice a few things. First of all, it is like a sandy matrix. Look at these contours. Just look at that. It's quite clear this was supposed to be so much bigger, and there was supposed to be a large stone here which overlapped. There was supposed to be a large stone here which covered the space of two of these stones, and it was supposed to be up there. That's gone. That's been removed. It's just gone. And look at this. This is the pink stone, and there's, I think there are things in here, either they've been knocked out or they were for reinforcement purposes, and I think this is all just concrete. The whole thing is concrete. Now, different pictures of the site give different impressions, and it appears there are three types of stone here valued for their colour. So really pink stuff, pinky orange stuff for the Temple of the Sun, but I think this was the entire fortress was like this. This was and it was many layers going up, and here you have a sort of green rock, and I'm wondering, is this actually a slag heap from ancient industrialization? Is this a copper heap and somehow it's actually fossilized? I don't know what's going on. This is bizarre. Also, it's rare to get a side view. Look at that. I think this is a reinforcing thing. And I think these, now, one comment said these are for, in one of my videos, said these are for lifting. So you could put something under there. I'm not sure. I think this is concrete reinforcement. Now, under some of the stones we have this, it's under here, and it looks like there's been a gap and someone has stuck stones under there to fill up the gap, but this would have been a drain. There would have been plumbing here because there is a fountain on the site and there is a water supply to this fortress, and this is some kind of drain, and it's built like that on purpose, and these rocks wouldn't have been in here because they wouldn't have done such a bad job. Again, the drain is here and it's been filled up, and it would have continued here and there was more stuff here. I'm actually wondering if the cliff hasn't fallen away and the wall continued, because that's a bit odd having all this down here and then you're sort of on the edge of a cliff. I haven't been to the site. I'd love to go there and see what's going on. It would be amazing. Now, we can see a lot going on here. I'm going to just explain. So there would have been one rock there, just one huge rock. What's going on here? Now, I was racking my brains trying to think where I've seen this before. This is tuck pointing. These are separators. And what are separators used for? Now, Brian Forster says these are stones placed in between, and these slide up and down instead of these stones moving around, makes it stable during an earthquake. Right. There's more than that. I think this is all poured at once. This is all concrete, and these are the spaces, just like you do with modern concrete or in houses. You put spaces there, and what's supposed to happen is, yeah, it's all supposed to move up and down on these gradients to stop these from cracking. They didn't want these to crack. It's not they didn't want them to fall away. These would have cracked if these were not here, because it's all laid together, because they were aware during earthquakes. You know what happens during an earthquake? The ground moves like that. It moves like a wave, and this would have cracked. They would have had prior experience, so there would have been thousands of years prior experience before this was built. They were building things to endure earthquakes, and the people who followed, I mean, look at this, it's just rubble. The people who followed have built with the rubble, probably smashed up from this, and recycled this as a fortress for thousands of years. And the fact there's so little of this left, and only a small village nearby, shows that people were using the ancient city as a quarry for thousands of years. This has been absolutely destroyed. This was enormous. This was an enormous fortress, and they've used the surviving bit as a temple of the sun. That's what's going on here. The ground itself, it's weird, it's flat. This could be some kind of hardened concrete as well. This looks a bit weird to me. Could be also filled in with dirt, and this goes down. This would, if this is very old, it keeps going down, you see. And the wall would have continued here. There's more reinforcing on the side. There's like another nub. It's so hard to see what's going on here, but I showed you the dam earlier, and there are layers of concrete. So here you have one layer, another layer, another layer. There are horizontal lines where this could have been poured in stages, or there are also vertical lines. There seem to be a lot of vertical lines here. I'm not sure how this is showing up, but this is from the frame that could have been holding this up while this was being poured. And this is just tuck pointing, which was poured later. And I want to tell you something else. What are these? What are those? They could be nubs for having lowered the stones into place, but they're not. These are rivets. They're rivets. And I can prove it. I can prove it. That rivet is missing. There is a hole there. The rivet has been removed. So if this is carved stone, how the hell did they remove the rivet? I'm pretty sure that rivet's gone. It looks like a hole. Now I could be wrong. It could be just a shadow, but it looks to me like it's gone. I'd have to go there to, I guess, investigate. If someone's there, they can let me know. So this would have been reinforcing. And it looks so different from every side. It's just, this is unbelievable. Look, there's a wall up there. I think this would have continued all the way up and around this whole fortress. And guess what? This is very hard. They didn't use sandstone or anything. They used a very hard rock. This is designed to stop cannonballs, but ancient cannonballs from thousands of years ago, to stop the fortress from being demolished brick by brick, to stop it smashing to pieces. And this might not even be the ultimate wall. The wall could have continued outwards, and these are relics of the reinforcing which joined to a subsequent wall. And they built it in stages to make it very thick, because for such a massive wall, you'd expect it to be something like, you know, medieval walls that's 18 feet thick sometimes, or 18 meters thick, you know, 50 feet thick. Like the walls of Byzantium, these are quite thin by comparison. This is unbelievable. And it's totally different to the rest of the site. The rest of the site has a lot of these old stones, but you can see they've been reused for literally thousands of years. Totally different cultures have moved in. What the hell is going on here? This is unbelievable. There's technical drawings or some artwork which has not survived. Either it's been chipped away because they thought it was pagan. Here there's some motif with 3 different creatures perhaps. Here there are 3, perhaps representing the Trinity. There's 3 different crosses there. And, you know, sorry to include you in the picture, but it's so hard to get a side view. I wish we had a top view as well. Why can't people just go behind this and photograph it? Look, the Inca or whoever have taken this part. It's totally used for something else. These are steps to something else, to a temple or something, and they've just shoved it here. They've shoved some stones underneath, or the archaeologists have done this, and they've totally changed it. Look, that's a bit of the pink granite again. You see, this is done in much later times. They've filled all this in. This is all different, and this wall would have continued. It would have gone on and on and on. I don't even think this is original ground level. I think it goes deeper. Like this stone here, it just keeps going, you see. It goes deeper. And something's happened. I think the cliff could have fallen away here, and they've reused these stones are not as grand. This is never photographed. Something has happened to this place. It's been broken up, or it's been bombarded. Something weird has happened. But this was an ancient fortress, monastery. This was the capital of a huge kingdom, and this is high tech. This is really high tech stuff. This is sort of building work is the building work you get if you have massive libraries. There's no other way of explaining this. This is unbelievable. Again, this is some kind of American art or something. Not quite sure. Squares. There's something highly elaborate going on. We don't know what it is. We just haven't got a clue. There was something here. Something was going on with this. This is part of the construction of this. Or it's something else that's been dumped here, because it doesn't fit in with that at all. Again, this is absolutely amazing. This is unbelievable. I wish look at this. You can only see this in this photograph. It looks like a relief of something. It's unbelievable. This is crazy. There would have been running water through this enormous palace. You see how big this is? This is ancient engineering on a huge scale, and I've actually got something here to kind of prove that it's concrete, because people are saying, some people on the comments are saying, yeah, it's concrete. Some people are saying, no, it can't be concrete, they've carved it. Yeah, they could have carved it for sure, but look at this. Look at that. It just keeps going across here. There's a shape, and it keeps going. Why would it keep going, like some lozenge or something, if this was 2 different stones? unless something was deliberately carved and hanged here. But otherwise, it just continues, right? So it was poured into a mold, and the mold is still here. If these were carved independently, you wouldn't see that. Stones in front, look at that, reinforcing. So they had reinforced stones. Whether these are carved or concrete, you know, I'm sort of inclined to think this is concrete, because if you look, you see there is pink tint on this side, and then it just changes into something else down there. They were interested in the colour. They may have deliberately chosen colours. This is increasingly looking to me like a high-tech civilization. This is unbelievable, you know. And as you see, it looks like there's some kind of river through which they accessed Machu Picchu as well, and all these other places. And again, fountain, they had plumbing, running water, and they made it look like this. This was their aesthetic, their taste. And look at that, this is also from Ollantaytambo, and do you see what's happened here? Something's been carved into the rock. Or, this is all concrete, and this has been destroyed. It's been obliterated by something. Perhaps an earthquake. Who knows what's happened here? This is unbelievable. I can't believe this. This is... And you see the sandy texture of this, almost as if it was poured. As if it was poured a sandy sort of particulate which has been glued together. And that totally wouldn't surprise me. And that's what I think it looked like. Now, you see the colour selection. This is Tibet, Potala Palace, the other very high mountain range on Earth. And as you see, the royal palace is red, just like the Romans did. And the rest is white. So we see different coloured rocks selected at Ollantaytambo as well. And I think they wrapped it around the whole mountain. It's even on the same angle as the old Egyptians used for mastabas, and also as the people in Peru used. It would have looked like this, I think, Potala Palace. But we could be talking thousands and thousands of years ago, because the locals have no knowledge of what this once was. Yeah, it was a temple, but before that it was something else. It was something really huge, and we don't have a clue. Guys, thank you again very much. Bye-bye.